Gen Z, how has AI impacted your ability to learn in school? My professor ran my 100% written by me essay through an AI detector that said it was all AI. Prof didn't believe me / let me prove it was my work and failed me on the assignment. Hard to stay motivated when you're punished / given poor grades for something you didn't even do. I don't use AI, but being in a group project with the AI will do it for me people is absolutely infuriating. No, Jonathan, this information is not only incorrect but completely irrelevant to what our project is about. And if you turn this as in with my name on it, I will personally get you banned from the contiguous United States. From my experience, it can really help you learn or really mess you up. Everyone literally uses chat for everything, and I used to do the same. When my teacher would go over topics in class, I knew that I wasn't retaining anything, and I felt really guilty. On the flip side, AI can be really helpful to assist your learning. There's tons of tools now that use AI to help, like my class started using QuizCat AI to turn notes into quizzes, flashcards, etc., and I feel much less guilty about that. Either way, AI can be a make or break in learning MO. It's made me a bit paranoid when writing essays. I don't use AI for coursework, but for my class that used an AI/plagiarism checker, I was definitely anxious about it. So I screen recorded the process of writing all my essays. Luckily passed all the checks no problem since I wrote them all myself, but hearing all the issues with AI checkers does make me anxious for any potential issues in my future classes. Back in the early 2010s, Wolfram Alpha was basically to math problems what Gen AI is to writing. I remember loads of people relying on it to solve all sorts of math problems within the engineering program I was in. It definitely had issues doing some of the wonkier calculus, but by virtue of being a beefy calculator was more effective as a get-around doing homework tool than ChatGPT has been from what I've seen. I'm a grade 7 teacher. My students aren't technologically savvy enough to use it to cheat well and are too lazy to use it as a helpful tool. I think there are a lot of benefits to explore with it, but they're not there yet. I know their reading and writing levels well enough now that I can sniff out plagiarism fairly effortlessly. It's been a good tool for me so far, though. I can spend my time on more meaningful work. I'm Gen Z, and I finished high school 10 years ago. So the answer is not at all. Learning? Not very much. For actually doing my work, it helps speed that up a lot. Like for coding, I use it to get just a base code to work off of all the basic features of what I want, and I'll add the details myself. As long as I truly understand what it made and why it works, it's fine. And for the record, I don't use that to make an entire program, just smaller parts of it. A lot of my class used it to write entire programs without changing much and got caught when they couldn't explain how any of it worked. For starters, a good half of Gen Z is not in school anymore. That said, I'm in university for CS engineering, and AI is really helpful for troubleshooting when I'm having an issue that's so basic I can't find it in any forum because they take it for granted. Or for when the language documentation is terrible. Or for auto-filling obvious code. I never straight up ask it to write code itself, though, and I don't use itsy examples if they're too complex. As someone who graduated college in 2022 but just went back for a master's program, those who were in school 2022/2023 and started using ChatGPT really seem to be less resilient and give up easily when they can't figure out a problem. A few of my professors have talked about it in office hours. The instant satisfaction coupled with a pretty decent answer has made ChatGPT an integral resource for many of them. I'm guilty of this too, but I also love it from a studying perspective. I can take a practice quiz and ask for 20 similar problems, and where my current answer went wrong. AI tools help in preparing for exams by providing practice questions and quizzes. It's more like a personalized tutor. By the way, it all depends on how effectively one uses it. I'm not from that generation, but what's for sure is that AI, the way it's used today, doesn't help us learn. It just does the work for us. So, it doesn't help us learn, it just makes us lazy. Gen Z. How did the pandemic impact ability to learn in school? As a medicine student, it has been a total game changer. A lot of what I learn is understanding based. Think physiology and biochemistry. For this, ChatGPT can explain difficult concepts as many times as I want until it clicks. I can ask it to dumb down the answer, make it more detailed, reformulate. With a real person, I would feel ashamed if I didn't understand after the first two explanations. With AI, I can tackle one concept as long as I want. If my studies are more fact-based, then I use AI less because there it is more prone to error and I can learn facts elsewhere more effectively. Ai detectores are garbage. My original thoughts get always flagged being at least 5% AI. I haven't been in school for 8 years, brother. Ask the alphas. I occasionally use it as kind of a virtual tutor when I'm either desperate or need to ask stupid questions, but I've known some people who just shouldn't be in college and get by with chat. I think it's going to make the lazy lazier and the curious really well-informed. Once it feels very conversational, it's going to be a game changer. Like if you could just have in-depth conversations with your phone, then you could learn all sorts of things while you're driving or just sitting around. How many times do random questions come up, and then you Google it, but find it difficult to get the answers you're looking for? AI might be able to better serve your curiosities. Reading these responses makes me feel good graduating in early 2022 before it took off. The common theme seems to be first hit is free, where most students naturally now depend on it to succeed at all. I'm in college studying mechanical engineering. It really helps me when studying for exams when I don't want to ask the professor about every single question I have. I feed it all my class notes, and it acts like my own personal tutor. It has helped me immensely. I would have been a whole lot more lost without it during exam week. Some of my professors also allow us to have a sheet of notes during exams, and I use AI to help me figure out what the most important things are that I should have on my notes sheet. AI has helped me learn a lot better and allows me to understand topics on a much deeper level than ever. As a Gen Zer who wrote his first essay on a typewriter, learned programming on an Apple II, had CompuServe, used Netscape, used MIRC before Reddit, played Civ I and Carmen Sandiego, Doom, Duke Nukem, etc. You get it, I'm old. Anyway, I never envisioned the internet getting to this point. It's pretty fucking crazy. Reality is hard to come by. Artificial is easy. Middle school teacher here. I just stopped assigning written digital assignments and do them on paper now. I got tired of dealing with inevitable AI assignments. It's extremely useful for me in med school to explain mechanisms. I'm older Gen Z, so I wasn't in school when AI really took off, but I've been using it to help me learn Blender recently. It's a convenient tool to have when I'm trying to learn all the shortcuts and features. Not much. The lazy coasters and plagiarists are lazily coasting and plagiarizing using the plagiarism engine, and the ones who care aren't. Same shit, different year. Older guy here, but if I were a teacher, I would do tests with the kids only in person in class, and as homework tell them to read something or do another thing that doesn't involve that they hand me back a paper with text. I wouldn't want to check that anyways. I don't use AI and never have, though my mom used ChatGPT when I didn't understand a lesson once. It helped for some, but it's not good for some dude cheating. Plus, it's annoying when other people get better grades than you because they used AI. It's really bad. Constant flagging for AI we didn't use, handwritten essays due to people using ChatGPT too much. It's miserable. So glad to be almost done with school. I'm in one of the top universities in my country, and it's mind-boggling how some students, especially in group works, think it's okay to outright use AI for write-ups. It's extremely detrimental, especially in situations wherein we'd have to redo their parts because it's literally a blatant use of it. You can literally tell the difference. On the other hand, it's useful in some ways when you want to search for stuff or need a head start for things. For example, when I encounter a mind block, I'll typically use it for leads. Why is climate change bad, etc. People have abused it to a point wherein it's going to breed a new generation of students who don't have writing or critical thinking skills. I was out of school by the time it meant anything. The oldest Gen Z are approaching their 30s within the next couple of years. What school are you talking about? It's helped me. It's kind of like having a tutor. I can ask it anything I want and get it to break down any specific questions for me. Not Gen Z, but have gone back to get my master's since AI has become more prevalent. I don't use it a lot, but when I do, I have found it is most often as a way to save time on things outside the scope of the knowledge. For example, putting information into ChatGPT and having it format it in a specific way and whatnot. Additionally, I feel like I have to double-check everything AI spits out is accurate and not obviously AI, which reinforces the material. It can be good if used sparingly and with the right approach. It just makes cheating easier. Not much. You still have to pass tests without AI. My professors actively use AI tools to check for AI-authored papers. But if you ask OpenAI for an essay following a prompt, then rewrite it completely, it will go undetected. Those that are truly impacted by AI and their ability to learn are not the demographic who will succeed in higher education regardless. That is why I'm not worried about kids graduating undergrad while using AI. If you needed it to pass your program/degree, it is likely you will be replaced by AI in the coming future. It does what you can't. This nuance is not present in STEM degrees, but often the humanities. I don't use it, so I wouldn't say it's impacted me much. Low comprehension on things. I think it has presented a lot more opportunities for those seeking out. I was mostly self-taught anyway. Teachers kind of suck at explaining stuff, so I'd mostly get it though reading. AI gave me easy ways to get what I was looking for. Too reliant on AI that I cannot think on my own.